Hi everyone, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday, the 2nd of May 2020. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the Thoth Tarot again for today's reading. So let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of today. So these readings are for all signs of the zodiac. They're for everyone who watches. So we have the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. So as you can see, it's a day of extremes. The Nine of Swords is usually about worry and about lying in bed at night, 3 or 4 in the morning, and thinking, oh, what's going to become of me? We've got the symbol for Mars there and Gemini at the bottom, that Roman numeral 2, and this kind of shattered window effect, same as in the next card. And Mars is about masculinity and drive. Mars in Gemini is very pushy in the sense of I want to communicate what I need. And these kind of dripping bloody swords, it's because you're being cruel to yourself by pushing yourself too hard or whipping yourself into doing something that you think is going to make you happy, but it could potentially ruin you. Because we have the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords is the highest card in the suit of swords. Swords represents the element of air. It's about thinking, it's about making decisions, the way you communicate. And it goes from the Ace, then the Two of Swords, Three of Swords, Four of Swords, all the way up to the Nine of Swords, and then the Ten of Swords. And as you can see, they're not the happiest cards. So we've got really negative thoughts pushing you forward. That can be a sense of being driven. The first card, the Nine of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is usually someone at rock bottom. Here we've got a heart being pierced in the middle, and it looks like, I don't know, a trophy or a crown in itself. And we've got all the shattered glass and all the sort of friction and tension behind it. These kind of remind me of squares in the astrology when the planets form a square with something else. Negative thinking is going to lead to more negative thinking and heartbreak. The Nine of Cups, on the other hand, is happiness. So the Nine of Cups is just as high as this. So at the center, we've got the 10, and then it's surrounded by 2 nines. 9 is about spirituality and completion, and 1 is about moving forward and being independent. We've got the Sun here, which is your identity at the very top, and we have Gemini again. The Sun in Gemini, your identity is all about ideas, communication, the way you think. The way to happiness today is not by thinking and driving yourself around the bend by kind of pushing yourself and having this underlying anxiety because you feel like everything is going to go wrong at the moment. So you're projecting. Each one of these has a different symbol on it now, I'm seeing. So you've got lots of variety, lots of different things you can worry about. Finally, we've got Jupiter, which is the lucky planet, and Pisces. And Pisces is about spirituality. It's about being aware of the duality of things. Jupiter is the lucky planet of success. And the Nine of Cups does represent happiness. The Ten of Cups is complete family bliss. And the Nine of Cups is really having your hopes and dreams come true first. So the energy isn't kind of central. The energy pushes you forward in itself. And that's the contradiction of today. If you push yourself too hard, you can drive yourself really into a situation where you're seeing things from the wrong perspective, you don't feel good about things, you're filled with anxiety, and this is all being in control of things. That's what swords is about. I communicate, and Gemini especially, we've got 2 and 2, just 4, a doorway opening up. And by kind of imposing yourself and thinking all these things, you're projecting and you're looking at the future, and it hasn't even arrived yet. So instead of trying to make sure that all the books are balanced and that everything is in order and trying to run the show yourself, instead go with the 9 of Cups, go with your feeling, and realize that you can be happy today. I really like that. I read the Eckhart Tolle book, some of his books, The Power of Now and The New Earth, and I really like that, if you think about this current moment, right now, you're okay. In this current moment, I'm sitting here, the window's slightly open, there's a breeze, there's sunshine, I have enough food and water, and in this moment, I'm fine. If I have, or if anyone has worries or ideas about themselves which are faulty, really watch out today, because your own faulty ideas, you could be cruel to yourself, and that's going to ruin the way you feel. And you don't have to feel terrible today. You've got a way out. You've got happiness sitting there. And the cups are water. So water is about spirituality. It's about creativity and other people. So spirituality, you connecting with your higher self, a higher power, that's something that really gets you out of your own head. And when I was in the clinic, when I was in, what was it called? The Priory, 10 years ago, they said that first of all, if you're going to beat yourself up with a feather, obviously. And then second of all, you can't think your way out of a situation that was caused at the level it was created. If you think that, oh, I'm so rubbish and I just despise myself, you can't think yourself into a happy place if you've got that frame of mind. So everyone who's got kind of tendencies to be cruel to themselves, you really need to watch out today, because you could really do yourself in. I don't think it's so much from the outside. Well, Mars is very pushy and external. It's the masculine in astrology. Gemini is also a doorway into something else. It's an air sign, so it's also masculine. Here we got Gemini and the Sun. The Sun is interesting because in dishonor, in German, it's male. No, female, and in French it's male, and in English it's non-gendered. But we've got Gemini again in the sword, so it's all masculine. So either if you're being cruel to yourself, or you're pushing something that you really, really want, but that on some level isn't worth the pain, or isn't worth the struggle, or isn't worth lying about it, or isn't worth kind of hurting yourself about it. Go with your connection with a higher self. That's really going to solve the problem of being in your own head. And it gives you an escape from those negative thoughts that always go after you. And spirituality will help you deal with situations that come at you. So if someone's saying, oh, I don't like you, I think that was a terrible performance and you should shut up, then a way out of that is to say, okay, thank you very much, and to let it slide off your back, and to connect with your higher self and say, is that justified? Was I really crap? And then you feel your higher self, and you go with your opinion instead of the external opinion. There's a very fine line between spirituality and the imagination. So any creative types, be creative and devote yourself to something that you can make. Or people who are carers, nurses, real estate agents, people who take care of others are going to be really, really happy by being of service today, and by helping. So this is a good rule for life, not just today. Get out of your own head and this sense of ruin and doom by being of service to other people, by connecting with your higher self, and by being creative. and realizing that you don't need to beat yourself up. You don't need to have all the answers. Sometimes you can trust that you're in this current moment with exactly the things you know at this time, and you're doing the best you can. So stop giving yourself such a hard time over this. Don't give yourself grief, and try and stay in the moment. Sometimes you have to take every day. Sometimes you have to take it day by day. Sometimes it's hour by hour. Sometimes it's minute by minute. Okay, I'm just going to get through the next 60 seconds. I'm going to get through. Okay, there was a minute. I'm going to get through the next minute. So it's very extreme, as you can see. We've got cruelty versus happiness. In the middle, we've got ruin. Okay, so you have to kind of be careful, because this is like, it's really strong. It's Mars and it's the sun. So it's bulldozer-ish. So when you get that sense of someone's attacking you, someone's being really out of line and just going for you, immediately shut that down. Say, I'm not going to argue about this. Walk away and close that off. So be aware that you're not going to be yelled at today, or you're not going to let yourself yell at you. And I always say this, but you would never talk to your mother or your sister the way you talk to yourself. We're all so mean to ourselves. This, unfortunately, is a day where we can really go for that. Try not to, because look at these squares. You can either feel all raggedy and on edge and angry and passionate and like, or you can feel, everything's abundant. Look at the rays of light I'm just channeling through myself, and it's all good, and it's all... Oh, look, and then we've got fire in the background. I never noticed that before. The actual stems of the plants are red. So you can transform this anger and negativity into something that grows. Usually anger is destructive. It smashes this mirror, like in the back, for example. So do these. And the red here is channeling that passion into something productive and being happy. Yeah, so try and be as productive as you can be, and try and avoid just sitting there in your head and giving yourself a hard time. Stay active. That's really important. Number-wise, we've got 9, and 9 is 18, and 10 is 28. 2 and 8 is 10. 10 reduces to 1 in numerology, and 1 is the leader, the pioneer. And you're going to have a strong drive to be the boss today, to pioneer things, but that's going to drive you to ruin. If you let go of the wheels, if you let go of control a little bit, that's the path to happiness. Yelling at yourself and yelling at other people isn't going to work. So step back a little bit, cool it, and find happiness within yourself. Because externally, yikes, you don't want to be looking for it, I don't think. And internally, there's also this wave of swords going through, and you have the extreme 9 of cups on the other hand. So it's really a matter of doing a 180 with your perspective, so that you deliberately turn things around for yourself. So instead of, oh God, I hate my body, look at my legs, you say, thank you, universe, for giving me a body and legs that function. Thank you very much. So the idea to take control and to do everything yourself and to worry about everything yourself is really strong. But if you're able to let go and hand some of that fear over and trust that things are going to work out and you are in the moment, then things will work out. You manifest what you think. The inner landscape becomes the outer landscape. Have a wonderful day. Think about Oprah's vision boards that she always talked about. Get one of those out and see how many things have come true. It's the law of attraction. If you think about the things that you want in life, they will come true. You put it out there. It's a seed that grows naturally. So be receptive today. Don't try and do it all yourself. Have a great day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Because we have the lockdown situation happening at the moment, I'm running a spring special discount. Coupon code spring special, quarter off all priority and emergency sessions. If you don't know your time of birth, because for the astrology, I use your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. Order a chart rectification with me if you don't know your time of birth. I use astrology, tarot, numerology, and my intuition in my readings. So if you'd like to speak to me, just head over to gregoryscott.com. If you like the reading, hit subscribe and share it online, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.